welcome to another episode of Piecing It Together, the podcast where we take a look at a new movie and try to figure out what movies might have inspired it. And today on the show, I am joined by Jason from Binge Movies to talk about Predator Badlands, which at the time of recording is now the most successful movie in the entire Predator franchise, which is amazing. But Jason and I did not really like it very much. But we'll get into that in the conversation. We get into a lot of great puzzle pieces for this one. We had a really fun time talking about the movie. Before we get to it, I do want to remind you, as always, to make sure you're subscribed, of course. You can follow us on social media at PiecingPod. Join our Facebook group, Popcorn and Puzzle Pieces. I also want to tell you about a couple other things, though. First of all, it's been a busy holiday season trying to catch up on screeners for end of the year stuff, so I haven't been able to get to everything that I've wanted to get to that I normally would be doing. So I do want to mention a couple of things before we get to this episode. Like, first of all, next week I got another live show coming up. It is The Housemaid. Will be at Maya Cinemas this coming Thursday. That is December 18th. And I never got a chance to record a pre-show promo, so I'm just going to tell you on this episode right now here. Go to piecingpod.com if you want to enter to win tickets to go see the movie with us. We got a great panel. Going to be a fun show. I am very excited to be back at Maya Cinemas. I also wanted to give a little shout out, and I'll give it a shout out at the end of the episode as well, to the fact that I have a new The Pup Pups album coming out today at the time that this episode comes out. It is December 12th, and the Pup Pups' new album, its sixth album, Pup Pup Radio, will be hitting Spotify, Apple Music, Bandcamp, anywhere you could listen to music, you can listen to the new album. Normally when I put out these things, I do a commentary track, but again, it's the holidays. I'm very busy over here. I'm kind of drowning in screeners and things that I need to get done at the end of the year, both in podcasting, music, wax tracks, and regular life as well. So I have not gotten a chance to record the commentary track. I will be doing one at some point for this album, but you can go listen to the album right now on all the streaming services and look forward to that commentary track that will be coming sometime soon. But with those two things out of the way, let's talk about Predator Badlands. Jason from Binge Movies is with me. We're going to talk Predator Badlands. How's it going, Jason?
I'm in a very disheveled state. Other than that, I'm pretty good. How are you?
Oh, I'm always in a disheveled state. So you're in good company.
That's not true, man. You're an extraordinarily handsome young man.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
I'm happy to have you here today. I think we're gonna have fun talking about this one, and it's been a while since I've had you on a non-Ghostbusters related episode. So
What's really funny about it is that we've done a couple of Ghostbusters. And then on your Letterboxd, which is at piecing.
It's actually, I think it's by David Rosen. I always forget if I set it up as me personally or as the podcast.
I think you're right.
Yeah, I think it's by
David
David Rosen.
At PC Pod or at David Rosen.
Yeah.
And then like in a review for a completely unrelated movie, because I see your reviews come up. You're talking about, I think you were talking about Paul Rudd, and you were like, what is this guy doing with his career between this and being in these shit Ghostbusters movies?
And I'm such a nice guy usually.
I know. And then I'm like, wait a minute. Now, the last one was shit. We both agreed. Yeah. But I don't remember you saying Afterlife was shit. You were just sort of saying this isn't a Ghostbusters movie. It's like a weird Amblin.
I think I retroactively brought that one down a little bit because that next one was so bad. But
yeah, fair enough. Yeah, I just thought that was so funny because I'm like, I keep track of that in my mind. Yeah. It must have been Death of a Unicorn, I think.
Yeah. That makes sense. That must have been.
I've got a bigger bone to pick with you. I would have preferred to have been on the Running Man episode.
Oh,
if you're going to do one.
Did you like
You're not doing a live.
Yeah, I did it. I ended up doing a live one. It's coming up tomorrow at the time of recording this. But
gotcha.
Did you like The Running Man? Let's just go on a tangent here. No, you didn't?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, and the first review I see when I get out
is me with my 4 stars.
Is yours. Yeah, you're like, this 4 stars. I went along for the ride. It was amazing. I'm like, what the shit?
I like what I like. What can I say?
That movie was fucking terrible.
Oh, man. Well, I guess it's not that big of a tangent. We are talking about beloved 80s movies that
That's
get
right.
turned
That's right.
into, whatever it is that we're doing nowadays with big blockbuster movies. But are you a big fan of the Predator movies, Jason? I feel like you would at least be the original and maybe not some of the other ones. Or
That's really interesting. I've done a kind of a ranking retrospective episode on all of them up to the time that they. So I think everything before Prey, or maybe everything including Prey. I can't quite remember. And I did that with Lindsay Washburn, who's a
Okay.
great YouTuber and personality out there. Um, and I think my feeling about it is I've seen them all. I grew up with Predator 2 more than Predator.
Okay. I
That
saw
would have been my
Predator True first, by the way.
I think I saw Predator 2 first.
Yeah. I went back and I was like, "Oh shit, this is way better." When I saw the first
Oh,
one.
yes. Yeah, yeah. And then you go back and you go, "Oh, wait, yeah, this is how you do this premise."
Yeah.
And then yeah, it's one of those things that I've kind of like you probably have been watching for 30, 40 years or whatever, but I am not precious about them.
Mm-hmm.
They've never reached the heights of, say, an Alien or an Aliens in terms of overall quality,
Yeah.
from the rip. And even though I think they have there's a couple of maybe good sequels now. Um, they've never reached like the point where you could almost call them art. They're always adjacent to actually good.
Sure. Yeah.
But they're enjoyable, and there's gradations within them. So I
Yeah.
don't know. I'm not so precious about the series. I guess I enjoy it, but it is what it is.
I think that's absolutely fair. And yeah, I like the sequels in varying degrees. And I really
Yeah,
liked Prey, so I was really looking forward to this. And I like Dan
yeah.
Trachtenberg as a director. I didn't love this movie, but we'll get into that as we're going through puzzle pieces. I liked it though.
Hmm.
I think that it's fun. I just don't know if that's the right thing for Predator, but I mean, credit to Dan Trachtenberg for trying something different for sure. One other thing, and then we'll start getting into puzzle pieces. Have you seen the animated one? Because I have not yet.
I have.
Okay,
Yeah.
how'd you like that?
After I was done watching, I thought maybe even this is my little comment I put on it. I didn't really do a review. I don't mean to be a letterbox bro, but I didn't mean to do I didn't do a review, but I left like just like a comment, which was sort of like, this may be like the third best Predator movie.
Mm,
Like,
all right.
it's it's not as good as Prey, and part of that is also like it's really tough to compare animation with
Yeah.
live action, if that's what we even do anymore with movies. So you can't I couldn't rank it as being better than Prey or better than the original, but it would have been maybe in the top 3.
All right, that's good to know, and yeah, I'll probably check it out mainly because of Dan Trachtenberg, and I'm
Yeah, I
all
think if
for
you
him.
took it's a kind of anthology a little bit, kind of.
Sure,
It's separate stories. I think if you had taken any one of those stories and extracted it into a feature length film, I think you could just about have done it. I know why. Like, I don't think a studio would greenlight any of those movies because
yeah,
it'd be too expensive to make in live action, and the box office returns wouldn't be there. But it wasn't like, oh, we have a bunch of slop ideas, let's put it into a cartoon.
sure,
It would seem like we have a bunch of really kick-ass ideas and maybe some treatments that we know Disney has said, hell no, but you can do this. And
sure.
then so they were like, okay,
Yeah.
let's find a way of telling a story. So
Yeah, absolutely. Well, let's start getting into some puzzle pieces and we'll get through everything we like and don't like about this movie along the way. But
yeah.
what do you got for your first puzzle piece?
Okay. I don't know. Okay. I'm torn here because there was something with this movie that I wasn't immediately vibing with. And maybe immediately is too strong of a term. But I mean, let's say within the first 20 minutes, I was like, have you ever been to a theme park or
Hmm.
an amusement, like an actual theme park, like Disney or Universal Studios?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. Have you ever been to like Beetlejuice's Beyond the Grave review or something like that, where Beetlejuice is dancing with the Wolfman and is dancing with Frankenstein on the steps of the clock tower from Back to the Future. And, Doc Brown shows up in the DeLorean, and you're like, what the fuck is this?
We're talking about some weird pseudo movie that like uses characters, uses the art of filmmaking, but it's not really a movie. Like,
yes.
Yeah.
But it's also like it's a live street performance, but the street is fake.
Mm-hmm.
So you're in a fake place of a fake miniature version of, I guess, New York, and Beetlejuice is doing a cabaret show with Frankenstein's monster.
Sure.
And the Blues Brothers and the Ghostbusters show up. And you're like, what is this? Like, this isn't this. That I don't know what that described. That verisimilitude, reality breaking, uncanny place where it's fun and everybody's bebopping to the music and everybody seems to be enjoying themselves. And you look around and you're like, am I the one with a stick in his ass?
Yes.
Because there's something about me that doesn't want to give himself over to this. Or am I smarter than all these people? Are these people easily tricked?
Yes.
That's how this movie felt. So I don't know how to quantify that puzzle piece for you.
Yeah, you know what? It felt like I'll help you out here, okay? It's the Star Wars TV shows. That's what I feel like is that same idea is like everyone's having a great time. It's technically filmmaking, but this feels like at best a Super Bowl commercial. Like this is entertainment for the masses, and like this feels like we're shitting on this movie already. But at the same time, like I had a good time at the movie. Like I didn't hate it, but it was like, is this a movie?
Okay, like you're exactly right. I want to put asterisks on this because I want your audience to hear my heart when I'm saying this. I'm not saying that when you're at Universal Studios and Beetlejuice is doing the review, it has a specific name, I can't remember. But when Beetlejuice is dancing with the Blues Brothers and the Ghostbusters on the courthouse steps, it is with the Bride of Frankenstein. I'm not saying that's bad. I'm not saying it's bad to enjoy it. I'm not saying that Beetlejuice doesn't have some funny one-liners. I'm not saying that you won't find yourself tapping your feet and laughing.
Yeah.
But there's something about it where you go, okay, this is fun, but that's not Michael Keaton, and we're not in Beetlejuice.
Yes.
And that's what this sort of feels like, where it's like, this is fun. It is entertaining. Elle Fanning is I think really good in this, in one role more than the other, but she's pretty good overall. And there's some creativity here, but that's not a Predator. I don't know what it is, but that's not a Predator, and this is not a Predator movie. But it's a really fun facsimile of a Predator.
Yeah, I understand 100% where you're coming from. I felt the same way while I was at the movies. And yeah, when the credits rolled, I was just like, was that a Predator movie? I don't know, but like I kind of had a good time. So like, it's fine. And I'm sure there's just going to be some kids that end up enjoying it. And it's their first Predator movie. And like, that's fine too, you know?
Yes, exactly. And I think you're on the money because it feels like this is not a puzzle piece, but I guess it's kind of piggybacking off of yours. Or what you just said. It feels like the first season of Mandalorian.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Where you're like, okay, there are no Jedi. It kind of looks like Star Wars, but it kind of doesn't. But it's like an adventure of the week sort of movie, and that's kind of fun. And maybe we need to be done with Jedis for a while. And that baby's pretty cute. Like, and then you're just sort of like, but what is this? What kind of product is this? This isn't a movie. This isn't cinematic. But there's obviously way more money on the screen than any TV show has any right to have.
Sure.
So you can't even be like, it's just weird.
I'm with you. I'm with you.
And I felt I'm watching this movie on Cinemark XD in a fucking movable seat that's shifting all around, and I'm going, this looks better than most TV shows. Nowhere good enough to be a movie visually, the special effects.
Sure.
But it's also better than a ride in an amusement park. And I think maybe just movies are something new. Maybe movies are something different now than what you and I think of that when we think about movies.
Yeah, that it's a tough thing, man. It's really tough. I'll go on to my first piece here, and I think it's funny. I have four pieces. Two are things that I really like, and two are things that I don't like, which kind of shows you where I'm at with this. I'm going to start with the one that I like the least of everything on my list, and it's actually probably too new to actually be a puzzle piece, but it was something that I kept thinking about, and that is Jurassic World Rebirth from this year.
Haven't seen it.
So it's terrible. But if I had done an episode on it, which I did not do an episode on it, I'd be talking about the previous Jurassic Park movies. I'd be talking about every Alien movie, every Predator movie, every Star Wars TV show, which we've already brought up, Marvel shows, like all of these things just that are popular with the people, and throwing it together, and maybe this will work this time. And that's kind of where I think that this all comes from. It's like, well, maybe if we give the people what they want, we give them the little alien with the goofy eyes, we give them the sidekick who makes little quips and stuff like that, even though it's supposed to be this R-rated hardcore action sci-fi horror. Right. This movie is listed as a sci-fi horror movie on Google, and I'm like, you need to update that metadata. Like, there's just no horror movie in any grasp of the imagination. Jurassic World Rebirth, it just kind of replays the things that it knows works, and it doesn't work at all. Whereas here, like we're talking about, even though we have our issues with the movie, it is fun, and it does give the people what they want. And I think that's why most people seem to be connecting with it. And I think for the most part, like, we're going to come off as a bunch of grumps because most people really like this movie. But Jurassic World Rebirth is the bad version of what they're trying to do here.
I think that's where I do give this movie some grace, though, because you're on the money. We've seen so many attempts at this, whether it's a legacy sequel, like those shitty Ghostbusters, as you said, or whatever, that we have no confidence that if we come up with a new concept, anybody's going to go see it.
Yeah.
Because it's not a thing anymore. So let's take something somebody knows, and then let's use that as a platform for this sort of very generic wallpaper paste version of making movies where everybody kind of sounds like they're in a bad Joss Whedon movie, even though he was fucking canceled 10 years ago at this point.
Yeah.
But like everybody's quipping. It's just I can't quite. It's something that I think a lot of us who are like watch a lot of movies have been trying to put our finger on, of like, what has gotten in the broth of Hollywood that they cannot seem to get away from this. It doesn't matter who the studio is. It doesn't matter who's behind it. And maybe the answer is it's media consolidation. There's only like 4 companies that make anything anymore.
That's true. Yeah.
And so everything has the same kind of in-house style to it, where it all looks the same. It all feels the same. It's all obviously shot in a way where they'll just like, well, I'll figure it out afterwards, right? And like, characters aren't people. And where this movie, I think, edges out of a lot of that competition, where I have to give it credit, is I do feel like Trachtenberg, yes, he's making a 4-quadrant Predator movie. I think they're trying to gain an audience as the original fans of the Predator series are getting up there in years and are less relevant from a pop culture standpoint.
Sure, yeah.
They have to make this series relevant to a younger generation to be able to make Predator movies for the next 40 years. Yeah. Fair enough.
Yeah.
But I think what stands out about it is I think there is a level of creativity to some of the set pieces, a level of creativity to some of the ideas. And also, if we're going to be honest, Predator is basically like a 2-movie idea.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
A bunch of commandos who are like the most elite killers in the world go in, and you think it's going to be an 80s action movie, but the twist is it's a slasher movie, but it's not actually a slasher movie. And the slasher part of it is all the super commandos are being killed, but there's a twist on top of the twist, which is actually, it's not a slasher movie, it's a monster movie.
Yeah, absolutely. And well,
that then
Yeah,
that reverts to a like Tarzan movie by the end of it.
Totally. And
Yeah.
what you're saying goes right back to the puzzle piece, because I mean Jurassic Park should have been at most a 2 or 3 movie
That's it.
series, and it would have
Yeah.
been done. It would have been good. I mean, not that the sequels are any good in those first couple
But you
anyway,
can see
but
that idea has
yeah,
elasticity for 2 movies, maybe.
exactly.
Yes.
And then it's like, let's
Yes.
move on, maybe do some different kind of Jurassic thing, but different dinosaurs. But like,
Yeah.
no,
Yeah.
you can't just keep stretching it, and
So
it's not going to work.
I gotta give him credit of let's find a different way to do
Yes.
this, which is, hey, we can't just have a bunch of randos getting killed, or and now the predator's in this location. Like that's it's like I think Prey was the better reinvention.
Yeah.
But I think if you're going to go back to the well again after Prey, then this is a fun way to do it. I
Yeah,
think.
absolutely. Let's go to another piece, though. What do you got next?
The other thing, this is like I'm going to reference 2 things, but it's actually one piece. It's just it reminded me of a video game called Monster Hunter, which is a series of video games where you go around on these weird alien planets and build up your weapons with you have weird little cats in a pouch,
Yeah,
and you go out and you have gadgets and shit, and you go fight monsters until you can collect their bones and take it back for more shit.
sure.
And then that in like a video game called Star Wars Fallen Order,
Okay.
because it's any kind of like open world video game or semi-open world video game where you wander around, you have to solve puzzles, you have to engage with the environment. Everything in the environment is trying to kill you, and you have to build your weapons up through a series of challenges. And I think that's also part of why I was like kind of struggling with this, and this is just a long way of saying I'm old, is I think there's a whole generation of people, maybe 2 now, who video games are their primary storytelling medium. It's
Yeah,
not movies.
yeah,
They've gotten their stories from video games and anime. And those things that either stylistically are now being injected into movies, or they're overtaking movies. It's a either or proposition, and it hasn't quite been decided yet.
sure.
And as somebody who the primary mechanism for storytelling for me was movies, TV, and radio,
Yeah,
right? Or CDs or cassettes or whatever, like music albums. Listening to a whole music album was like reading a book. It was listening to a story. There was concepts behind it. It doesn't really exist anymore.
no.
So yeah, to me, I would say my other puzzle piece is that it feels like a video game.
Yeah, I'm glad you're bringing this up because I can jump right on top. And by the way, there was a movie in 2020 of Monster Hunter. Paul
Yes,
W.
terrible.
Sanderson. It was, yeah,
Yes.
pretty bad.
Yeah.
But I actually had a video game too, so I'll just combine with your piece there. Mortal Kombat Mythologies Sub-Zero. Do you remember that?
Very specific.
Yes, exactly. It's this weird spin-off adventure game from the Mortal Kombat franchise. It gets rid of
Yes.
all of the violence and gore and just makes it about the mythos of the world that you
Yes.
really don't give a shit about. And like you're taking this bad dude, turning him into a hero, giving all this
Yes.
backstory, all this extra stuff, and really all you want to see is the fighting and the killing and the blood and the gore. And
And all those video
Yeah.
games have like a similar vibe to it, which is they start with like a cinematic scene and a short playthrough, which is like basically your tutorial. And then oftentimes you start like fully powered, but then something in the video game before the actual game starts,
yeah.
like strips you of all your power.
Mhm.
All of your tools are scattered across this planet, or your ship crashes and all your weapons are 1,000 miles to the coast or whatever.
God, video games
And you have
suck.
to you have to grind, right?
Yeah.
And rebuild yourself up to be able to get to the power level. And that's exactly what this movie is.
Yeah.
He has all of the shit. There's this big dramatic cinematic scene to begin with, actually kind of like 2, between his brother and his dad. It's like this protracted sequence where you're just sort of sitting there getting all this lore dump.
Yep.
And then he's put on a ship and rocketed off to a world where everything's going to kill him, then immediately loses all of his weapons and has to like figure out how to survive with nothing. That's such a video game way of telling a story.
100%. Yeah. And Again, like you said, I think it is kind of reaching out to the younger audience, and it's probably working really well, honestly, even if it doesn't for us old fuddy-duddies. But
Yes, right.
yeah,
Us old sour pusses.
oh yeah, bunch of good video games to include here. But what do you got next?
A movie from the '80s, from back when we were elderly. Now that we're elderly, back when we were young,
Yeah, yeah.
that was not successful then, is not well regarded now, and is barely remembered. It's a movie called Enemy Mine, with Lou Gossett Jr.
Yeah.
and Dennis Quaid, where there's two forces that are at war with each other, rival forces, and they crash land on the same planet, this primordial planet where everything on this planet is trying to kill these two guys. One of them's sort of a lizard reptilian person, and the other one is Dennis Quaid,
Yeah.
who's also some kind of reptilian person.
Mhm.
And they have to, despite their cultural differences, their language differences, their hatred for one another, they have to learn how to begrudgingly collaborate with one another to survive.
Sure.
And it gets weirder from there, and dumber from there, and shittier from there. And the famous bit of trivia about that movie is the studio, when they saw it, they didn't understand why there was no mine in it. There's no sequence that takes place on a mine
Oh my
on this
God.
planet. And so they made him go back and reshoot the third act to include a mine sequence where there would be because they said audiences they'll be confused, they'll feel like they've been ripped off because it's called Enemy Mine, yet no mine appears in the movie.
That's completely insane. That is so insane.
And it totally breaks the movie because like the movie's it's basically this pacifist parable of like, don't this somebody who appears so different and alien to you and your enemy is just like you, basically.
Yeah.
And they added an extraordinarily gory, bloody sequence that takes place in a mine. It's bloodier than anything that happens in Predator Badlands. But that, I think some of that DNA is there between the synth and even the creature, the Callisk, and Deck. And I think that there's some of that there. And the literalism of Deck and the sort of weird lizard kind of way that the Yoksha or whatever they're called, the Predators, their culture. Yeah. So Enemy Mine.
Yeah, that's a great one. I hadn't thought of it, but now that you bring it up, it's perfect. And I would be shocked if it wasn't an actual influence on Trachtenberg in making this, because it feels like exactly what he's going for here. And yeah, I will go to one that I do like. I am a fan of the Avatar movies, and I will include Avatar as a puzzle piece here as far as this beautiful planet that's just filled with hostility around every single corner. Everything wants to kill you and eat you, and that's kind of what this movie is. And it's just, it's a whole bunch of special effects spectacle and a whole bunch of big giant action set pieces, and when they work, they're pretty fun in the way that
Yes.
they are pretty fun in Avatar as well. And I think that we're dealing with a whole lot of. I mean, it's tough. It's a tough thing to do. James Cameron is freaking awesome. That's why he's able to do it. But like, it's a lot to do to kind of get this much information in there about the world that they're in, with the things that they need to do to survive it, the things that need to happen in order to get out of this threat. And it's a lot of movie to squeeze into a little 2-hour action adventure.
Can I ask you a question? Do you think this movie would work if you took the Elle Fanning's doppelganger, Thea and Tessa? I think if you took Tessa, who I think is the evil synth,
Right.
if you took her out of it and all the other like synthetic red shirts that they end up killing, like they kill 400 of the same guy,
Yeah.
which also feels very video gamey.
Sure, sure.
If you took like the Wayland Yutani stuff out, and it was just him and this robot and this little creature, this little sort of James Gunn weird cute creature.
Yeah.
If you took all of that, it was just those three trying to survive on this planet, and you just like made the story small. So it's different than Prey, but it's also like these three have to learn these three I'm basically picturing a James Gunn movie, but these three broken creatures,
Sure.
right?
Sure.
He's a runt, she's a robot that's broken in half, so she's considered broken and therefore left behind by the company. And there's this maybe weird creature, we don't know what it is, and then you have the revelation that the monster is its mother and blah blah blah. That could be interesting. Like, do you think the movie would work better if it was just about that?
Yeah, I 100% think so. And it's not that I don't like all the stuff with the Wayland Company and all that coming in. It's just that it's obvious. It's so goddamn obvious. And
I think,
you
yeah,
know,
yes,
it's exactly what
yes.
we expect from modern day blockbuster filmmaking. And it's a little bit legacy sequel. It's a little bit just expanding universes, and it's so unnecessary.
It's not like, I would agree with you for the most part. I don't think it's bad or done badly or done because we've seen a lot of legacy stuff where you just go, "Oh my god."
Mm,
It's not like, to me, I didn't roll my eyes at it, like I did during The Running Man, but I did.
great movie, by the
Yeah,
way.
I 4 stars, go see it. I just found myself going, as good as her performance is as this evil robot, and as like fun as some of these set pieces are, and as funny as some of them are, the legs and all that sort of shit. Like, okay, I get it. I get what this is going for, and it, like, I summarized parts of this movie. Only parts of it is like the most enjoyable and best way to do something that's a bad idea.
There you go.
like
Yeah,
you're watching something that you would like, I should not like this. But this guy, Trachtenberg, and his team are so talented.
sure.
They've taken something that actually fucking sucks and have made it so fun and creative
Yeah.
that you're like, it's still like, technically it doesn't suck. So I can't say that it sucks.
This
And I am having fun, but my brain knows this stinks.
this is
And
such a
there he's got
weird episode. This whole episode is
he's
insane.
he's got so much, and like the stuff where it's just him and the planet with like the razor glass and this creature and that monster and this thing and that thing, and him trying to relate to her as a, it's like a cheat because he can't get help, but she's not a person, so she's actually like a tool so that he can rationalize it. And like, I think all that stuff is the works. I liked all of it. I thought it was interesting.
Yeah.
If you're gonna change up and like put us in the Predator shoes, make him the runt, give him a kind of like a little disability thing with the kind of fucked up mandible. Okay, I got it. And he's like this one track mind killing machine, and that like odd couple thing kind of works. And she's bioengineered to be super cheery and curious because she's researching. And are they just using each other, or are they actually developing a friendship? Like, to me, that's the heart of the movie.
Yeah.
And so much of that would have so much more time if we didn't have to like then spend the last 30-40 minutes of the movie fighting a giant mech.
Exactly. Exactly. 100%.
Yeah.
Let's get to one more puzzle piece. What do you got?
All right. Let's see. Okay. I'm gonna double dip here.
Okay.
So this is like, I'm cheating. Specifically, it's like if you tried to make an entire movie, almost, let's say half a movie, out of the sequences where Chewbacca is carrying C-3PO in a net on his back in Empire Strikes Back.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Sure.
Right? It's like you have this sort of talking, jabbering, nonstop, personality isn't the same, but droid
Yeah.
strapped to the back of this giant animal that can't really speak.
Sure.
And it's funny, and the juxtaposition is funny, and he has to do these fights and these battle sequences with this robot who's freaking out on his back. And I'm thinking that had to have been also in this guy's brain, because I think he's roughly in his 40s. And so I'm like, I think this guy grew up. I don't know how old Dan Trachtenberg is, but my theory about him is that he grew up like many of us did with a bunch of licensed action figures
Oh, sure.
from R-rated movies.
Yeah.
RoboCop and
Yeah. He's
Predator
us.
and Alien.
He's one of
Yeah.
us. Yeah.
And he was smashing them into each other.
Mm-hmm.
And then like with Prey, I think he kind of elevated that idea to something I think was really interesting. kind of, even at the low budget, it was sort of a kneecapped movie because of the Disney merger. Even at the low budget, and they had no faith in the project, it's like there's a kind of a simplistic beauty to it.
Yeah, absolutely.
And this one feels like a kid playing with action figures.
I'm so glad you're saying that exact phrase, a kid playing with action figures, because it's a perfect setup for my final puzzle piece here. A movie that I love, well, two movies actually that I love, that absolutely feel like that, and that is
Free Guy.
No, fuck that. Hell
Pixels?
No. God, do I actually? Pixels is kind of fun, but Free Guy is fucking terrible. But no, it's Adam Wingard's Godzilla vs. Kong and Godzilla X Kong. Talk about a movie that just feels like someone who is one of us, who grew up with these freaking toys and stuff, and all of the things that are associated with the 80s and the early 90s, and then just got hundreds of millions of dollars to bash these toys together. And good for him.
Okay.
Good for Trachtenberg, good for Wingard. I'm all for it. And Godzilla X Kong really does feel a lot like this. It's basically like a Saturday morning cartoon version of something that used to be a prestige monster movie thing,
Can we take a step back, though? Because there's something inscrutable about you. Which is, if I went out and I made a movie and said, okay, I'm going to take a character who was created for an entire nation of people to be able to emotionally process the horrors of nuclear war. And I'm going to take that. And not that they've been the first to do it, because the Japanese did it themselves, right? Turn him into a slapstick sort of character. And Godzilla Jr. and all that sort of shit. But I'm going to take that character. And I'm going to take King Kong, which at least the original has some higher mindedness to it to some extent too. And I'm going to make it about the earth is actually hollow. And that if you just dug a hole from here to, I guess, China, it would, in between.
It's so wonderful.
Or Japan, I guess. Godzilla would be able to jump down that hole and within 5 minutes be at the center of the earth. And then King Kong would be able to climb out of that hole from one side of the planet to the other in maybe 15 minutes. And that down in the center of the earth, there's a giant monkey kingdom, the giant monkey throne, and a giant monkey club. And King Kong, whose arm got damaged, now has to have an Iron Man robot arm, so he can pick up his club, so that he's Kong Rex and can rule over the forgotten world of the Hollow Earth. And then in the Hollow Earth, because that's not just enough, there's also another dimension, the parallel dimension of the Hollow Earth that you have to go into from there, which then takes you into this crystal world. And the crystals in that world are what powers the universe. And if those get damaged, the whole Earth will be destroyed. And there's an evil monkey that wants to get his hand on the crystals. And the evil monkey has a little evil monkey sidekick who's a kid. And King Kong then throws his club away and grabs the kid monkey and starts beating dinosaurs with a kid monkey. If I say all that, you go, this is the shit. This is great shit. I love those movies.
I see no problem with any of what you just said whatsoever.
But when Predator is given like a couple of one-liners.
Yeah, that's a problem.
It's too much.
It's too much. When Predator
if they make the Predator Drax from Guardians of the Galaxy, you're like too fucking far.
I had that written down too. He's 100% Drax. The way that he takes everything so literally and he's just Drax. But I trust me. I recognize how unbelievably stupid those Godzilla vs. Kong movies are. I know they're wonderful.
I'm trying to understand you after all these years.
Yeah,
from movie to movie. There's no through line.
None. No connection. If I love it, I love it. That's all there is to it.
That's fair. That's fair. So you're just saying you're leading with your heart.
That's right. Exactly. That's the only way to do it.
Fair enough.
So that is my last puzzle piece. I did want to bring up, I Googled this for a little bit of research beforehand. I Googled a list of PG sequels to R-rated movies. And I thought I would run down the list real quick and see if you think this is Better or worse than each one of these. All right. And I know Jason watches.
Do you want me to give you answer immediately, rapid fire?
Yes, let's rapid fire.
Gotcha.
And I know Jason watches way more movies than I do. He has seen goddamn everything. So I think he'll have probably seen most, if not all of these. So better or worse than Predator Badlands? Let's start off Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome.
Oh, shit. Better.
Okay. Terminator Salvation.
Better.
Aliens vs. Predator. The first Aliens vs. Predator.
This is Alien versus Predator if Alien versus Predator didn't totally fucking suck.
There you go. Good answer. Major League 2.
Oh, shit. I got a soft spot for that one, but that movie's not good at all. Better.
Wow. So far, better than everything. Good. I'm happy to hear that. Live Free or Die Hard.
Live Free or Die Hard is a pretty fun action movie. It's a terrible Die Hard movie, so I'll say better.
Be Cool.
That's the Get Shorty sequel.
Yeah.
Oh, with The Rock. It's a long time since I've seen it. I'm going to say better.
All right. Highlander, The Final Dimension.
Way better. Sorry, Mario Van Peebles.
RoboCop 3.
Way better.
The Expendables 3.
Oh, way better. Those movies are some of the biggest misses in history.
They're so bad. Police Academy 6, City Under Siege.
Not even a fucking question, buddy. Way better.
One more. Speed 2, Cruise Control.
Oh my God. Infinitely better. This is the best PG-13 action sequel to an R-rated movie of all time.
I think that's what we've just gotten to here. Wow. Amazing.
That's why, but okay. If you had something, what we said, if you had something that was a terrible idea and was destined to fucking suck, and it turned out to not suck and be fun and actually be pretty good, but your brain is so wrestling with it because you're like, I know this should suck.
Right.
This may actually suck.
Yeah.
That's this movie.
Oh man, we got to something here. I do think so. Jason,
great job, man.
Oh
that
yeah,
was good.
I think we got to the end of this one. Is there another movie you'd like to recommend that you've watched recently?
It's a short. It's 60 minutes. Even people on TikTok have attention span for 60 minutes. Just break it up into 60-second clips.
There you go. Yeah.
A couple thousand times you'll get through it or whatever. It's called The Dutchman. And it's a short. It just got remastered by Criterion into 2K or 4K. I can't remember. And I don't know if it's widely available. You could probably find it in places you shouldn't. And if you have the Criterion channel, I think you can find it there. It's probably available online somewhere. And it's it's an excellent, horrific, thrilling, sexy, crazy, wild, ever relevant little short.
Interesting. There's a movie that came out this year called The Dutchman, so that's kind of confusing. But
yes,
I will have to seek that out. Sounds pretty wild and pretty cool.
Yeah.
So right on. Well, Jason, tell people where they can find you, the podcast, everything you're up to.
I've got two things going on now. I was real stupid, and I said, "What if I watched just about every slasher movie ever created in the 1980s?" And that's like over 400 some films, technically. That's just domestic and not including the international stuff. And I've watched most of them now. And I said, what if I got a legitimate film critic in Megan Kearns from Spoiler Piece Theater and the Boston Film Critics Association, Online Film Critics Association, and Women in Session Film, and Edge Media and 1,000 other outlets. And what if I was like, hey, you have no time, why don't you do this? And then what if I got a absolutely sick, depraved pervert from Australia? And you haven't met a pervert unless you've met an Australian pervert. They're a different breed of cat down there, a different breed of wallaby, if you will. Somebody who loves blood and gore and can't stand watching illogical movies. And I said, hey, let's watch the most illogical subgenre in the history of film together. And Paul from The Countdown. We did it in 2023, and nobody listened to it. And then a bunch of people listened to it 6 months after it came out. And then for nearly 2 years, people have been saying, when are you going to do it again? When are you going to do it again? When are you going to do it again? And so we finally gave in, and we're probably about 2/3 of the way through the season by the time this comes out. And there might be a little bit of a hiatus, and we'll come back after the new year, after the holidays. We'll see. so we can wrap up the decade. We're doing the second half of the 1980s. All of the first half of the 80s is out now on the feed. The Slashers is the name of the show. You can find it on all of your podcast platforms. And then we're wrapping up from 85 to 89 now. We do touch upon some international stuff. We do touch into some horror comedy. I know there's a bunch of stuff that didn't get covered in the show that you feel like we missed. Leave us a comment on Spotify. Send us an email. Get a hold of us any way you can. And you know, you never know. We may do a special roundup episode of the stuff that we missed. So, yeah, that's all I really want to, you know, binge movies. You can find me in all the places, but the Slashers, go listen, go rate, review, and don't wait 6 months to tell us to do a season 3.
Yeah.
Ask us right now. Help us now, because it's really hard to get, you know, the actual good podcasters like those two involved. So
Yeah.
I'm just along for the ride.
Absolutely. Well, Jason, great getting you back. It's always fun with you, and hopefully we'll get you back again sometime soon.
Thanks again, David.
All right, so I hope you enjoyed that conversation about Predator Badlands. Thank you to Jason from Binge Movies for joining me on that one. And thank you to all of you for listening. Like I said at the top of the show, make sure you're subscribed because we got a lot of episodes on the way. Like I said at the top of the show, I was planning on having a commentary track for the new Pup Pups album, but I just couldn't get it recorded in time. So I had to scramble and look at all of the already recorded episodes I have waiting to go and decide, which episode should I just randomly release today on December 12th, so I don't miss a week of piecing it together, which I have never done before. I've never missed a week in the 8 years I've been doing this show. And I was like, you know what? Predator Badlands is still raking it in at the box office. I was going to wait until streaming to put this one out. But you know what? Screw it. I'll put this one out. So all those other episodes I could have picked to put out today, you'll get to hear those very soon if you make sure you are subscribed. You can also check out my Patreon, produced by David Rosen, where I post bonus and advanced content, including those other episodes that are already recorded and done and ready to go. And bonus and advanced stuff from Awesome Movie Year and from my music career. Lots of great stuff over there at patreon.com/bydavidrosen if you want to support the show. It is almost Christmas time. You can get yourself a Patreon subscription as your Christmas gift. That would be pretty cool. But yeah, check it out. Also, just keep on listening. Thank you so much, everyone, for being out there. So I mentioned the new Pup Pups album, Pup Pup Radio, twice already during my intro and outro. So I might as well play a song from that new Pup Pups album. And Predator Badlands is a pretty crazy, high energy kind of a movie. So I got to go with this hardcore kind of punk metal rock song called What's So Crazy About a Singing Dog, which is kind of a duet with me and Harvey. I mainly sing this one. Harvey doubles me on the chorus. But this is probably the most upbeat and just rock song on the album. So hope you enjoy What's So Crazy About a Singing Dog from the new Pup Pups album, Pup Pup Radio, which is available right now to listen to on all of your favorite streaming services. And we'll be back with more piecing it together real soon.
Well, they put a man on the moon, they made Adam go boom. They put the phone book on your phone, they used to sell your ringtone. So what's so crazy about a singing dog? What's so crazy about a singing dog? The earth rotates around the sun. Avatar 2 is just as big as Avatar 1. So what's so crazy about a singing dog? What's so crazy about a singing dog? He can fly through the air with free Wi-Fi. 31 flavors, you can give them all a try. So what's so crazy about a singing dog? What's so crazy about a singing dog? What's so crazy about a singing dog? Tell me what's so crazy about a singing dog? Go! What's so crazy about a singing dog? It got
An All Points West production, produced by David Rosen in Las Vegas.